All right, here we go. Today we have one of the most outspoken figures in the boxing world. Father of world champion boxer Devin Haney. My Bay Area brother, Bill Haney. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Hey, thank you, Vlad. We at the mountaintop, baby, on Vlad TV. I'm so happy to be here. It's been quite a journey. Thank you for having me.
Man, for both of us. Both of us coming out the Bay to, getting out the Bay to have to, doing our thing at a worldwide level.
Well, that's the Bay way. You know
that's
what
the
I mean?
Bay way.
Yeah, exactly. It's to get out, and you're not going to, it's in us and not on us. You know, whether or not that we tell you that we from the Bay, you're going to definitely see it in our independence and our work ethic. So shout out to you and everything you're doing, Vlad.
There we go. Well, I want to get your whole story. I want to start in the very beginning. So you grew up in Oakland.
The whole story is a long time, Vlad. I don't know how much time we got.
We got some time.
I grew up in Oakland, East Oakland in particular.
Yes.
If you're from Oakland, you're gonna bang one or the other. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna bang the east, the west, or the north. So I would be doing Oakland injustice if I didn't say East Oakland. But I represent the Bay in Northern California, specifically.
So your mom was a Black Panther.
Absolutely, proudly.
Yes.
Yes. In the 60s. Beautiful woman who represented like us, the independence. We have to have what everyone else has mentality. That's what my mom, she represents. She always taught me that sometimes people are going to judge you and they're not going to like you just because of your skin color. But work hard, and demand yours. And that's what I think that I do real good for our family. Represent our last name and not our first.
Yeah, I mean, Black Panthers was such an integral part of Oakland and the Bay Area and the families that, like Tupac came out of the Black Panthers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. From what I hear, his mom as well, she was a Panther as well. Of
course.
You know what I mean? So
and his real dad as well.
Yeah, his dad. Okay, and his real dad as well. So, he has you can tell he had that Panther, that spirit in him, you know what I mean? That Oakland. And I think it resonates with the Bay Area in particular, especially in my culture. You know what I mean? The community is, everyone has a little bit of Panther in them, whether they know it or not. I'm a little bit more outspoken about it, being that my mom, being a former Panther, I say that proudly.
Now, you ended up going to private school at one point.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then you went to public school afterwards.
Yes,
for
sir.
High school.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, at one point you got into some trouble. Was that in high school?
Well, for me, my mom being a Panther meant, going to school, going into the school of our choice, going to the schools that that we could go to and not choose not to go to. And, I never wanted to let her down in terms of learning. And, so I got into a little bit of trouble. Obviously, growing up in Oakland, you make a choice whether you're going to be a part of it or you're going to step away from it. I fell victim to peer pressure, something that I hoped as an adult, my kids could shy away from or not fall victim of. But I of course, did, my story. And I got in trouble early on as a teenager in Oakland during the 1983, 84, 85, 86, 87, and 88, the 80s. That's where, that's the era that I grew up in.
It was the crack era.
The crack era,
The crack
for sure.
era. This was the first time the D-boys really rose to prominence, and there was literally millions of dollars where everyone was getting it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, as an adult, I speak back on the times, and I know that I can tell that it was a planned effort on someone's part to drop that much narcotics in our neighborhood, right? And, it, like I said, I fell victim of peer pressure, and I participated in it. Not something that I'm happy about or glamorize. I think that I speak out as one of the guys that speaks against glamorizing it, sensationalizing it, and giving the guys the opportunity that did walk away. They're just doing their flowers, because it to me, looking back on it, it was easier to say yes to the streets when my mom and dad, and like so many other families, the resources are there, the family support is there, but it's just, are the kids willing to stick out, to stand apart and say no? So, my kids, I always celebrate them for not going to the streets, not falling for peer pressure and staying focused.
Because you ended up going to Juvenile Hall.
Yeah, absolutely.
For how long?
I went Juvenile Hall for that normal, what is it, like at Los Eros Boys Ranch, 4 to 6, 6 to 8 months, something like that. Within that time, I got my diploma because one of the...
It was your senior year in high school.
Yeah, it was my senior year in high school. And one of the counselors noticed, he says, man, listen, I know there's something special in you. If you get your diploma, right, I'll see about getting you into a college. And I got my diploma. Shout out to one of the counselors at the Boys Ranch who helped me get into a university, Western Kentucky University, along with my mom,
right.
Under a minority recruiting program that I could go in on probation with a lower than GPA normal, due to my circumstances. So I was accepted. It was quite an experience to go to college.
Right. You go to Kentucky and you study journalism.
Yes.